going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today is Tuesday the 28th. So today's topics, I just want to talk about sales over this past weekend, some issues that I've been having with the post office that's just ridiculous if you ask me, and I still need to call them, but we'll get into that. Also, removing feedback, negative and neutral. And then finally, just, the usual when it comes to the eBay platform, which is glitches. All right, let's start off with this past weekend's sales. So altogether, over the weekend, I probably had about 140 orders. All right, 108 of them was on Walmart, 17 on eBay, and I'm maybe 13 on Amazon. Right, so what's that? 138. And the Amazon thing, my inventory is kind of dwindling down on there because I'm working on some other stuff. But eBay, this is just what gets me sometimes. I got more items listed on eBay than any other platform. And when it comes to eBay and Walmart, it's pretty much like the same types of items, right? But I get 108 orders on Walmart as opposed to 17 orders on eBay. Now, the orders that I did get on eBay were had a higher average sale price for the most part. But here's the thing, I haven't been listing as much on eBay, but I've been listing just about as much as I have been on Walmart. eBay listing is faster than Walmart at this point, if you ask me. That's neither here nor there as far as that goes. I'm just really not liking I feel like the algorithm shouldn't punish you on eBay for not listing. It should be based on product. And how in demand that product is. Whatever. I really ain't gonna. It just helps me realize where I need to direct my time and effort. Because on Amazon and Walmart, it doesn't matter how much I list. If my item is in demand and it's priced right, it's going to sell regardless. You're going to get the buy box. You're going to, at a minimum, share the buy box, unless people start tanking the price, of course. So it's just not based on how many items you list per day, which influences where you want to put your time and energy into, and especially if you want to scale your business. So these are things that influence my actions going forward. I'm not giving up on eBay, of course. I'm not going to say that at all, because there's still things that I sell that for whatever reason I might not be able to list on other two platforms and will go on eBay, but it has caused me just to redirect the majority of my energy and effort. And as far as my plan is moving forward, the tactics that I have is to get sales and to get myself to reach my overall goals for the year, which I'm behind on anyway, as it is. And so putting that time into eBay is not really going to help if I mess up or not mess up, but if for whatever reason I don't list that much for the week, then my sales slow down. That's just ridiculous. 108 orders on Walmart, 17 on eBay. Just think about that. That is a huge difference. Huge difference. And especially when you're selling items, a lot of which have a smaller profit margin. You need to be able to move that inventory, and you need to be able to move it fast. And you shouldn't have to run this special and that's another thing. This is all without running a sale, having a coupon on Walmart, or nothing like that. Still getting this volume of sales, as opposed to eBay, where I even ran a sale over the weekend, and that's still what it was. And that's going to take me, and because I'm going to tie that into the second part, is the app glitches, even though I didn't say that as second, but these are in no particular order. I don't know what's up with the app lately, and I thought it was my phone, but nothing else on my phone is acting up. The app is just it's glitching. It's slow, it's freezing on me. Things are just acting all kinds of, my orders are showing weirdly, like my ship out dates. Everything I ship next day, but on the app it's showing I got 2 days. And initially I was going to wait, but then I'm like, hold on, let me go look on the site on the desktop. The desktop shows me what it's supposed to be, but the app is showing me that I still got another day. And then some of the stuff was saying I needed to ship it the same day. So I don't know what's going on with that, man. And it's just, look, there's still a lot of good things about eBay. I'm not about to complain and cry about eBay. Time and effort. I guess that's what it boils down to. If I'm going to have to deal with problems and issues, is it going to be worth it in the end? There are problems and issues on Walmart. There's problems and issues with Amazon. But at the end of the day, because of the sales volume on the majority of items that you're selling, depending on what you're selling, of course, But on the majority of the items that I sell, because of the sales volume, it's worth the headache. And then you gotta ask yourself, is it worth the headache? The next thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that the post office, I don't know what these people got going on, but I get not one, not two, not three, but 4 emails through PowerShip, right? And they didn't come like all together at the same time. This was maybe a few days apart. Two of the emails though came the same day. And PowerShip was telling me that I had an adjustment to some postage. Okay, I've gotten those before. And yeah, I know that there's been times when I put the wrong postage. Maybe something was in the 8-ounce range and I had it in the 4-ounce, or maybe it was in the, whatever, right? What I really don't do is have something in priority range and it's not in priority range. So these adjustments were made on 4 separate items. The first one I'm looking at, it said your adjustment, you had it in the 4-ounce range, it's been adjusted to priority. I'm like, hold on. I go and check. So all these are items that I sold on Walmart, which that really has nothing to do with it. Go back, I check the tracking on these 4 items, right? Every last one of them are 4-ounce items that I mailed out in 7x4-inch bubble mailers. Okay. Now, if you make a mistake and tell me your item was 4 ounces, maybe they bumped me up to the 8-ounce range, right? I might be like, but I know what type of items that they were, because I can go back, because all I had to do was get the tracking, right? Look at the tracking in PowerShip, look at the name, go back to Walmart, search the name for the order pops up, right? And then just match up the tracking numbers. Every last one of them are like small things like something like this, right? That ain't even 4 ounces. That definitely ain't 5 ounces. And it sure as hell ain't over a pound, right? I can't even think of nothing that you can fit in a 7x4-inch bubble mailer that would be over a pound, right? I ain't selling freaking unobtainium or nothing like that, right? So what am I gonna have that small that weighs that much? Yeah, there's nothing. I did put in a dispute on PowerShip, but now what I'm going to do, because that can take 2 to 3 weeks. Tomorrow, I'm just going to call these people, man. And look, let me show you real quick. All right, so right here in PowerShip, okay, we're going to go down to reports. Well, we are under reports and carrier adjustments. And as you can see, dispute pending, dispute pending, dispute pending, dispute pending. I did go back and check all the other ones, but the only reason that these caught my eyes because they said they were adjusted to priority mail. I mean, I ain't gonna show all of these, but I'm gonna show at least one. All right, here is one of the orders, okay? Small order, marked as delivered, $5.49, right? But look what it is. That's all it is, man. That's all it is an eyeliner. And I can go through the other 3 and show the same thing. They are all smaller things, really, really small items. And that's it. Okay, and all I had to do was go and take the last name or first name. I did the last name just to kind of make it a little easier because, it's more likely that people got the same first names than last. But take the last name, search in Walmart, pull up the order. They're all like that. And so I don't know, they say, well, the machine could be messed up, or how in the hell a machine do this to 4 different items? I don't get that. I feel like something got to be doing this on purpose. How the hell do you take a 4-ounce item and accidentally say that it's in the priority range? How does that even happen? And so what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to call them tomorrow, make sure I'm in front of my computer. So I got all these tracking numbers and whatever info. Now PowerShip, when it said to put the info in, it said to upload images, but there was nowhere to upload an image. So I need my money back, man. And you got to think, it says $16 and some change in adjustments. It wasn't that much altogether because some of that is some of the other adjustments. Altogether, it probably was about $12 or so. But I don't care. I need my money back, man. And this is why you have to track these things. Anytime you get an email about an adjustment, whether it be through eBay, Amazon, Walmart, whatever platform you're selling on, double check because they're not all your fault. And if it's like $1, some change, you might not want to deal with because I'm gonna have to sit on this phone for a minute just to get through to talk to somebody. It's gonna take a minute. And the only reason I'm doing it is because it's 4 separate items, which is bull crap, right? If it was just one item for $1 and some change, maybe it took me from the 4-ounce range to the 8-ounce range, I'd just be like, whatever, right? Unless it was multiples up. If it was multiples, I still would call. But that add up. Imagine if they do that throughout the year. Just imagine this. Imagine if they're doing this to hundreds, if not thousands of people throughout the year, making these types of mistakes and these adjustments, and people ain't really following up to get their money back. How much money are they bringing in on that? I don't care what you say, man. It ain't no accident. It ain't no accident. It ain't machine error. I just don't see how a machine could accidentally think a 4-ounce item weighs over a pound. Oh man. Anyway, so that's that issue, right? Talked about sales, talked about the overcharges and the app glitches on eBay. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was removing negative and positive feedback, or negative and positive. Please don't try to remove positive feedback, right? Negative and neutral feedback. Now, it's more likely that you will be able to remove negative than neutral feedback. I've had harder times in the past trying to get neutral feedback removed. In fact, most of the time it doesn't get removed. But negative feedback almost always get removed. You should never let a negative feedback just sit for multiple reasons, right? And while eBay will tell you that it doesn't have an influence on your account, which may or may not be true, right? It does have an influence on buyer behavior, okay? And you can think about yourself as a consumer. When you go on eBay or any other platform to make a purchase, do you consider that seller's feedback, right? If they're not at 100 feedback, which most sellers won't be, and it's something you really want, will you not go at least and look and see, all right, well, let me see what type of negative feedback they got, at least what type. Or if you got 2 products, one seller's at 98%, another seller's at 100%. Mentally, you feel a lot more comfortable, especially if you're buying off of eBay. I don't care what they say. Consumer behavior is highly influenced by feedback percentage on eBay, just because eBay is notorious for having sellers that will send you some bull crap, not what they advertise, so on and so forth, right? So your customer is going to be influenced by your feedback percentage no matter what. Don't mean you won't get sales. However, if you want to increase your sales, one thing you can do is increase your feedback score. And so every time you get a negative feedback, you need to challenge that. Now, it don't mean that if it's your fault and you really, really did something messed up, you'll have a harder time. That's why you do have to make sure that customer service is number one in everything that you do, from the product that you present to how you ship that product to the customer, to handling any issues that might arise after the customer receives that product. You got to do your part. This is no excuse or anything like that for not doing your part. However, if you offer returns, especially if you offer free returns, if you've offered to accept a return from the seller for any issues, or if you've given a refund, then there's a good chance that you can get that feedback removed. Now, I know the Tech and Sports says that to call eBay, I can't remember if he said always call first or not. The first thing I usually do, and I'll show you right now. If you go into your eBay account and you can just kind of click on help and contact and then look for request to remove feedback. Now, this is where I usually go. Now, this one is in neutral, so I'm not sure if this will get removed or not, but I am going to try, because here's what the buyer said. Very bad experience because I have so many problems with delivery. The USPS delivered my item a wrong mail. Basically, they said the item got delivered to the wrong address and I didn't do much to help, which is bullcrap, okay? And I said I really can't do much. I told him, look, the item was marked as delivered, and I gave him some direction, basically the kind of cut and paste reply that I use on all platforms for any type of situation like this, okay? What you would do is, if this was negative or neutral, regardless, you would just click on request to remove, and then you gotta click on one of these, okay? Profane or inappropriate remarks, personal information included, does not follow eBay policies, related to a case that was resolved in my favor, other reason outside my control. Now you can probably go two routes on here. A lot of times, especially for negative, I'll do does not follow eBay policies, and which is if a buyer really refuses to return the item after I've offered a return or refund, but they don't want to return it. That kind of works for me. So I don't know. The other one you can use is other reasons outside my control, which is the post office thing. I think with this one, I'm gonna go with the other reasons outside my control, and then I'm gonna write in here what happened. All right, so all I wrote, now if this don't work, I will call eBay, because while neutral feedback really ain't that big of a deal, I don't want none of it on there. If I can help, if I can, I challenge all negative and neutral. Either they're gonna remove it or they ain't. All I put was tracking showed that the item was delivered to the buyer's address. On file, I gave the buyer instructions on how to communicate with the USPS to figure out what may have happened, but anything else was outside of my control. And I'm just going to hit submit request, and it says they'll respond in 8 hours. And we'll see what happens, if they remove it or not. Now, one thing I do want to say, and this is one thing that's good about eBay, I guess, maybe it'd be another reason why some buyers may be migrating to sites like Amazon and Walmart, okay? With eBay, if a buyer says that they didn't receive their item and it's marked as delivered, you as the seller do have an out with eBay. Now, in a lot of cases, in these cases, I do believe that eBay will still, actually no, because I've gotten, when a buyer has opened a request for eBay, when they say, okay, I don't have my item, but it was marked as delivered, eBay has given me emails that say we've cited in your favor and a refund was not issued to the buyer. So in fact, eBay will not give the buyer their money back in a lot of cases, and you as the seller will not have to pay. So you kind of get the lookout from eBay, right? However, on Walmart and Amazon, that's not the case. Now on Amazon, if you buy the shipping through Amazon and the buyer says they didn't receive the item, the way you can get out of not having a refund still is by instructing that buyer to file an A to Z claim. And through the A to Z claim, Amazon, as far as I know, every time I've done it, it has worked out. Through the A to Z claim, Amazon will most likely refund that buyer, and you as the seller will not receive a hit to your account health, and you will not have to refund, okay? But you have to have you have to have purchased the shipping through Amazon. If you didn't purchase it through Amazon, you're gonna be on the hook for that. And you don't want them opening the A to Z claim, and because you'll lose and you'll have a hit on your account health, and you'll still have to refund the buyer. So you do have some protection as long as you've purchased the shipping through Amazon. Make sure you instruct the buyer though. What I always do is I double check first, because not every time do I purchase the shipping through Amazon, but I'll go back, look at the order. And if I did purchase the shipping through Amazon, I'll instruct the buyer. I got a link that I already copy and paste. This is a standard template of mine in there. And the link will take them to the page that shows them how to file an A to Z claim, and I'll instruct them. And that's for a couple of reasons, right? Because a lot of buyers have already done this multiple times. You got your scammers. And so Amazon keeps track of this. And if Amazon sees that a buyer has put in multiple A to Z claims, they won't let them do it. They won't let them put in for it. They won't refund them. They won't do anything. And I know this for a fact. I've seen stories of buyers who've been denied A to Z claims and refunds because they put in too many, and as they should. And so you want Amazon to at least keep track of that. Unfortunately, on those platforms, there's not a way to block buyers like you can on eBay, which I think is another awesome feature, because when I feel like a buyer is up to some bull crap, I block them automatically. I got a nice little size block list in there, and I block them. Even if I refund them and accept their returns, I make sure I block them. But with Amazon, you can get around it if you bought the shipping through Amazon and you just direct them to file that A to Z claim. Honestly, the majority of the time, they don't do it. With Walmart, in their policy, there's none of that. You're basically on the hook. So your best bet is to try to figure out, if you can work with the post office to get it to them, because Walmart expects you to refund the buyer if they claim that they didn't receive their item. And if you don't, they will. And they're not taking the money out of their funds. So this I know for a fact. Initially, when I seen that they had refunded buyers that claim not to, because there's a report that you can download and check, I thought Walmart might have been paying for it, but no. I went back and I read the policy. Walmart expects you to refund the buyer if they claim to not have received the item. That's how you can request for feedback removal on eBay, and that's what you got to deal with on these platforms. I just kind of chalk it up to the price of doing business. My refund percentage right now on Walmart is 2%. I ain't exactly sure what it is on eBay and Amazon. I will say this, that you get a ton more returns on Walmart than you do on Amazon. I'll say I do. I get a lot more returns on Walmart than I do on Amazon and eBay. Actually, I can probably check. Yeah, so I thought it would be lower, of course, because I get way more on Walmart. So my eBay return rate is 1.28%. And it's probably less than that on Walmart or Amazon. So, I mean, look, you're hovering around a 2% return rate. That ain't that bad, right? If you do for every $1,000 in sales you do, $20 of it is refunds for returns. Well, yeah, and that ain't even counting shipping. So that $20, that's just counting returns and refunds, right? So for every $1,000 at a 2% return rate, $20 of it covers that. But then you add in shipping into that, you're probably looking at a lot more, of course. If you just go on average, depending on what you're selling, you're going to be paying at least $4, $5 in the first class range, right? And this is something I was trying to change on Walmart. Probably about, I don't went anywhere from $20 to $60 in shipping fees to ship back stuff. Now on Walmart, they got parameters that you can set where you can do keep it rules, right? You can set a keep it rule where if an item is a certain amount or meets certain criteria, the buyer can just keep it. Or you can do like where if for whatever reason the buyer want to send something back, you can offer a discount, right? You can say if they want to send it back because they found a better price, offer a 10% discount or something like that, right? So I do have keep it rules, but my keep it rules are set around like the $7 range. If something is like $7 or less, they just keep it. I don't even want them to send it back. I don't know, man. I feel like it's helping a little bit, but that whole $60 and that kind of gives me a picture because like with eBay and them, I really don't pay attention, right, to the refunds. I do know a lot of times I'll just tell people keep the item, don't even send it back because shipping ain't getting no cheaper, and this is a cost that can eat into your profits without you even realizing it. And there's a lot of things on Amazon that you got to pay attention to when it comes to shipping and return shipping and all these storage fees and things like that sometimes, and it seems like depending on the item and the value of it, it just might be better to let buyers keep it. And unfortunately, you will have buyers that know this, but for the most part, most buyers don't be up to, and I'm thoroughly convinced of this. The majority of buyers are not trying to scam. They're not trying to get over, man. So it's just that the more volume you do, the more you tend to see these things. And so you think it's just everybody's trying to get over. They're not. They're really not. And people that say that, you just need to change your thinking when it comes to this. It's just a cost of doing business in a sense, and it's just something you got to deal with. These larger companies understand this, and that's why they're so refund friendly and return friendly, because what you going to do? You're going to tell a buyer, then they're just going to go to the next platform that's offering their free returns or whatever, right? No hassle returns. That's that, man. Between the sales, app glitches on eBay, dealing with the post office, removing neutral negative feedback. It's all part of customer service. It's all part of reselling. I got a bunch. It's time consuming. The things like having to call the post office and get this money back, that stuff is time consuming, right? That's not the glorious things that you want to hear about on YouTube or the glorious aspects of reselling, but these are things that affect your bottom line. Determining whether or not you want to accept a return on certain types of items, those are things that affect your bottom line. Determining like, am I going to invest time in dealing with these customers on these returns, or am I just going to say, hey, just keep the item and don't send it back, right? Or here's a refund and keep the item. Like, what's the difference between saying here's a refund and keep the item, or getting back an item that ain't even sellable at this point, and you got to pay for return shipping? And I can guarantee you that eBay and them ain't doing return shipping at the discounted price that you paying for it, right? That's just that, man. I don't know. What your sales been like? Have they been good on eBay or not? From what I can tell and listening to a lot of videos on YouTube, people seem like they've been struggling on eBay with sales. You got to figure out something. That's up to you as a business owner to figure out and to deal with. Problem solving, post office issues. How are you going to deal with that? Are you just going to sit back and complain, or are you going to be proactive and take action and figure out some things to do? That's it. Hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button. I'll talk to y'all again soon.